Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Chris Creed, and welcome to another morning activation. Let's go. Hey guys, thank you so much for being patient on this third installment of what I'm calling the Resilient Creative Tenets, the core tenets of what it means to be a resilient creative. And I've brought those to you out of order, but what I like to say is that I help creative owners stay in their power and their presence and their purpose. And the reason I say that is because I know, and you know, that if I stay in that place, if I stay in my power and I stay in my presence and I stay in my purpose, then I can wake up every day and I can go to work on my creative vision, my creative mission, the thing that I want. And that includes, of course, making really good work for a long time and continuing to stay in this space. And it also includes me having the life and the adventures that I want and doing the things that I want in life as well, and building the life that I truly desire. And I want that for you as well, because it's not just about being able to communicate a point of view with your work and with your art. It's also about being able to do this for a long time and for a living, for a lot of us that are doing this for a living. So if you're a creative owner, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to talk about power. And I think power sort of gets a little twisted up. You know, I think people hear power and they think about having power over others, and that's not what it is at all. Let's just look at the actual definition of power. It says the ability to do something or act in a particular way. That's what power is. And so why are we talking about? You may be saying to yourself, like, well, Chris, I can do stuff, I can act in a particular way. And I agree with that. I know that you can. That's why I'm talking about this, because I think that of the three things that we've talked about here, we talked about presence, and we talked about how to get in purpose. And today we're going to talk about how to get into your power and activate your power. Your power is one of the first things to go. And I recently was listening to an interview with a guy named Derek Sivers, who wrote a book called Useful, Not True. And in the book, he talks about more or less, he talks about this. I actually haven't read the book, but in the interview, he talked about what the book was about, was to be able to tell yourself narratives that might not be true, but are useful. And so an example would be that I'm someone who gets up early in the morning. It is really energizing to me. It's not exactly true. When I wake up in the morning, I don't want to be awake, right? I'm still kind of groggy. I'm still kind of like moving slow. But what waking up early gives me is more important than that feeling. So if I tell myself that it's true to me, that I feel better when I wake up in the morning, then that can become a part of something I do. It's a part of who I am. And I tell myself that story because it makes it easier for me to get the good that comes from this thing. So the reason I talk about power is because when you realize that your power, your actual power, is your ability to do something or act in a particular way, you have to realize that sometimes you might not feel like acting like the person you're called to be. You might not feel like acting like the person who is on the mission. You might not feel like acting like the person who is going to wake up and commit again to this path. You might not feel like that all the time. And so what do we have to do? We have to pretend to feel like it. We have to pretend to act like that person. And what's cool about it, and this is something else that Derek Sivers said in that interview, is that if you're pretending to show up and record a podcast, you're actually showing up and recording a podcast. If you're pretending to be the person who shows up and records a YouTube video, you're actually being the person who records a YouTube video. It's not a lie. And that's what's so interesting about power. Power is an actual superpower that you have. It is your ability to act as if. When I was doing webinars weekly to sell an online course that I had back in 2020. And I do webinars every now and then now too, but I was terrified. And I remember having a conversation with a coach at the time, and she told me about this idea of the alter ego and taking on the persona of someone who doesn't have any trouble doing what you're about to do. So if you're worried about something, you would take on this persona. And so literally what I did, and she told me about this idea of a token, of taking a token with you. And when you have this token, this is your cue that you are stepping into this alter ego, the person who doesn't have any trouble doing this. And effectively, you're pretending to be the person who can. And so I had a particular token, and I would put it on, and I would literally take a deep breath, then I would look down at the token, the thing that I chose, which you're not supposed to share with anybody. And then I would become that other person, the person who could. So even when I didn't feel like it, it was easy to show up on camera and present because I was showing up as the person who could. And no one ever knew that. I never talked about it. I never did any of that. But it became something that was a part of my work. And it shone light on a piece of my self that I wasn't even aware was there. It shone light on a piece of my power. So the reason I like to talk to creative owners about their power is because it's usually the first thing to go. And now hopefully you understand why that is. It's because power is simply just your ability to act. And when we get in our head and we let this data kind of overcome us, we forget that we have the ability to act. And so for you right now, no matter where you are, this is where I would start. I would start by coming into presence and then reminding yourself of your purpose, and then fully stepping into your power and reminding yourself that you have the ability to act. And even if you feel like you don't have the ability to act, you can pretend to be the person who has the ability to act. That is your real power. And so I'm going to do a quick clearing here, just like I have in the other ones, to sort of activate your power. And if you haven't done this with me before yet, welcome. I use something called EFT tapping to help people quickly release anything that might be keeping them stuck. And specifically, you can do this with anything, but a lot of times it requires bringing up a feeling, releasing that feeling, and then activating something positive, not necessarily to replace that, but to help you move forward to the next thing. And if you haven't heard about EFT tapping, it's emotional freedom technique. It's been in use for, 30 something years now. But maybe even longer than that, actually, since it was actually developed. But it was originally developed for people who had severe PTSD and things like that. And it's been shown over 40 clinical trials, to actually be beneficial in phobias and anxiety and stress and all these things, and releasing those things significantly because of how it does it. It uses acupressure and all these things. You can look it up if you're interested in it, but that's why I do this. And it's really powerful. So when you do this exercise, know that it is actually moving something. So, all right, let's dive in. So again, we would step into our presence real quick. That's what we would do first. So I'm going to lead you through that real quick. Let's just take a deep breath in. And when you breathe in, notice the air coming in. And then when you breathe out through your nose, notice the air coming out and how it's different. And I just want you to be really present with that breath. Ready? Breathe in. And breathe out through the nose. And breathe in one more time through the nose. And out through the nose. And one more time in through the nose. And out through the nose. Now, that helps so much to come into presence here, but we're going to dive right into it. And I like to tap on these points. So we'll start on this karate chop point on your hand. And you guys can just follow along with me. But I'm just going to say, even though I don't know what to do, I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though I don't know what to do, I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though I don't know what to do, I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. And I just want you to hold on to that feeling of not knowing what to do as we tap through the points. So we're going to go in between the eyebrows here. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Underneath the eyes, I don't know what to do. And then underneath the nose, I don't know what to do. And underneath the bottom lip on the chin, I don't know what to do. And then on the collarbone, I don't know what to do. And then let's go to the top of the head. I don't know what to do. And we'll close it out in this like fleshy spot in between your thumb and index finger. I don't know what to do. Okay. And the reason we bring that feeling forward, this is just a general action clearing, is that a lot of times that's the first thing that comes to mind when you feel stuck, is I don't know what to do next. You can see how disempowering that is. It's literally taking your power away. I don't know how to act. I don't know what to do now. It's taking your power from you. And so we bring that feeling up so that we can notice that it's there. This is just generally, and you can use, like, if any specific feeling is coming up, you can use it in that format as well. But now I want to send you out on your mission and activate your power. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say a few things, and you guys can just follow along, and you just say them out loud, but we'll start tapping on that karate chop point again. And we're going to say, I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what to do. I am operating in my power. We'll tap on the eyebrows now. I'm operating in my power. I know exactly what to do. Sides of the eyes. I know exactly what to do. And even though it doesn't feel like it, I know that I can take action. On the upper lip, I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what to do. Collarbone, I am a person of action. I know exactly what to do. And the top of the head, all 5 fingers, I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what to do. And we'll close it out on the top of the hand. I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what to do. And then we'll just create some friction with our hands and rub it over our face, just as like we had some water in there. Just fling it off. We'll do it one more time. Okay. Now, the temptation here is to step right back out of your power. And so you might have to do this, practice a couple times to deal with whatever feeling is coming up. These feelings are just signals from the data that's inside of you, inside your subconscious. That's just trying to keep you safe. And so when we say these things and when we say, I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself, what we're saying that too is the data so that it can be cleared out. And you can literally delete that memory or whatever is causing this to come up. You don't even have to know exactly what it is. That's what's so cool about this process. So what I want you to note, though, and remember, is that when I say you know exactly what to do, what I mean is there's a part of your person, of your mind, that does know exactly what the next step should be. The mind does not say, I don't know. That's a memory. That's a feeling that's saying that. That's the data. The mind knows what to do next, right? Because you have, it will make a decision. And so we're not rushing anything. We're literally calling forth our power in this activation that I just gave you so that you can make a decision to move forward on something, right? Because that is your true power. So when you put all these together of the presence, the power, and the purpose, what you get is this like unified front of resilience, meaning that whatever's coming your way as a creative, if you need to make more money, if you need to make a connection, if you need to sit down and do the work and you're getting distracted, any of these things can be handled just by reminding yourself that this is the bubble I'm going to live in, of presence and of purpose and of power, right? And when you do that, even if you're pretending, it still counts. It still counts. Even if you have to wake up today and you have to tell yourself the lie that you want to do this work, that still counts, okay? Because even if you don't feel like it, remember, Even if you woke up this morning and you didn't quite feel like it and you had to tell yourself, no, I do feel like it because of X, Y, Z, because I'm committed to this path and I know that I can do this. That's your power. The power is your ability to act. And that's what we're doing here. So hopefully after doing this process here of all three of these, if you watch all three of the videos, I'll put them in a little playlist here too, so you can click that here somewhere. But the idea is for you to use these as a guiding light on your journey, as something that is going to allow you to stay the course and remind yourself of the path you're on. Anyway, I love you guys. My name is Chris Cree. This has been the Wake Up, Get Better podcast, and this has been a morning activation. Hey, if you're a creative owner and you want some help with this, everything we just talked about here, I would love to work with you and do a session custom to what exactly is coming up for you right now. If you're interested in that, you can go to chriscree.com/get clear, all one word, and you can book a session with me there to walk through this together. Okay. All right. I love you guys. Until next time, I'm Chris Cree. This has been the Wake Up, Get Better podcast. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Slow down. There's nothing to get you. Can always turn